सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ बोलिए श्री सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय। ओम समस्त जन कल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। ओम श्री चिन्मय सद्गुरवे नमः। हरि ओम। Welcome to the 10th episode of Chinmaya Yoga. Commit to win and win you will. So we are seeing every aspect of yoga and meditation from the point of view of Puja Gurudev Swami Chinmayananda ji, who calls it the process of hasten slowly. That is going towards the path of meditation, going fast, but at the same time going with care and going slowly. The mind, if you want to talk of what the mind is all about, everybody keeps talking about the mind, controlling the mind, or not paying attention to the mind, or the mind is nothing. So many things we talk about the mind, but we have to really know what the mind is. For example, a car, you compare it with a car. A car is nothing but inert metal. It is made up of iron and many other inert metal parts and other materials. The car by itself cannot move. If the car has to move, the driver has to sit in the seat, turn on the ignition, keep the leg on the pedal, and then the car will move. In the same way, the mind itself is composed of inert material. Just like the body, which has solid inert material, which is composed of, that is earth, water, fire, air and space, the mind of the same earth, water, fire, air and space. The quality of earth is smell, the quality of water is taste, the quality of fire is heat, the quality of air is the sense of touch, feeling, and the quality of space is sound. The mind is made up of these subtle elements in a permutation and combination. Even if it is made of all these, it is still inert. The mind gets like the car for which you give the power for the car to go. In the same way, our attention, our consciousness is the power that drives the mind. This consciousness is driven through a thought process, a thought form called Sankalpa. Kalpa means imagination. Sankalpa means right imagination. For example, when I sit for puja or when we sit for puja, the Purohit will mention the Sankalpa for the puja. Sankalpa means intention. Intention is like a road which takes you to your destination. If I want to go to Delhi, I just can't simply travel here and there by any means of transport. I cannot simply be walking and say, I want to go to Delhi. I have to go through the road that takes me to Delhi, or through the airway that takes me to Delhi, or through the sea route that takes me, any mode of transport I take, even if it is walking, I should go on the path that takes me to Delhi. Otherwise, I'll be going, walking and walking or traveling all my life. I will never reach Delhi. So in the same way, Sankalpa is that thought process or a very firm thought that will take me to my destination. If I want success in what I do, if I want to be a sports person and I want to be successful, then I should have the Sankalpa. I should travel on that road to success. The traveling on that road to success is what is the right kind of habit or thinking pattern that I have in my mind. It's called Sankalpa. In the Patanjali Yoga Sutra, 5 thought forms are given. We have only 5 types of thoughts, out of which we have already mentioned this. Pramana is the thought form which is right in front of our eyes, meaning the sight, the thought form of sound created by sounds around us, the thought forms created by the sights around us, the thought form that is created by the smells around us, the thought form that is created by the taste around us, and the thought forms that are created by the feelings or the temperature and the surroundings, whatever objects we feel with our skin. Those are also thought forms. These are called pramana, or rather pratyaksha. Pramana means right around us in the present moment I experience all these things. These are all thought forms I experience because of the length, breadth, width, depth and sound of all the objects in the universe around me. Then you have Anumana Pramana, which is called guessing. Guessing is fire when it is very cloudy, it is going to rain. Or if there is smoke somewhere billowing, then there is fire. These are all guessing games, which are Anumana Pramana, or thought forms born by guessing. Shabda Pramana is thought forms that are based on texts that we read, like the Bhagavad Gita, the Upanishad, or even on a day to day life, our Constitution of India, the Criminal Procedure Code, or any other law book, or the traffic regulations that we have. They are all coming under Shabda Pramana. You cannot say that they are not there. They are all written in some book, and it is our duty to study and get ourselves enlightened by it. You cannot see traffic rules in empty space on the road. We have to be aware of, but still those rules are existing. In the same way, you cannot see heaven and hell, but still those spaces are existing and they are mentioned in the Vedas. So that becomes a Shabda Pramana for heaven and hell, or karma, or liberation. The Upanishads are the Pramana for liberation or moksha. So that is Pramana, Shabda Pramana, Pratyaksha Pramana, and Anumana Pramana. The next thought form we have is Viparyaya. Viparyaya means there is an object. The object is proper, but my understanding of the object is different. For example, the object is the sky. The sky is laid out around me over my head. The sky is just empty space. It has got no color, it has got no form, and it cannot be seen. But I am seeing the sky as blue in color, and I am seeing the sky as if it's like a shape of a dome, which is called Viparyaya, or understanding. This is a common understanding of everybody, so it does not really hurt us. When the same thing becomes very subjective and individual wrong understanding, then it is a problematic thought form. Viparyaya. Viparyaya means the object is one, but my understanding is of that object is something different from what it is. The third thought form or movement of the mind is called Vikalpa. Kalpa means imagination. Vikalpa means improper imagination. It is about the future. I do not really have a strong idea or strong knowledge, or there's nothing before me to say that this is going to happen in the future, or these are all the things that are possible, but I still keep imagining many things. That is called Vikalpa. Opposite of Vikalpa is Sankalpa. Sankalpa means I have a proper imagination. It is very, very important. Like this very great swimmer, Olympic medalist and world record breaker called Michael Phelps. His coach, the way he taught him is to hone his sankalpa. Right from the time he gets up in the morning, the physical body will be acting, the physical body will be doing many actions, but the mind will be going on a program of sankalpa. And what is that program? That program is for success. Getting up in the morning at 5 a.m. is success. Then doing what is necessary to get refreshed and go for practice is success. Completing the practice on time is success. Then sitting at the breakfast table and having the right kind of breakfast that one needs to have is success. And then going to the swimming pool and doing the records participating in the swimming without thinking about anything else except the race and his participation in the race, and finally winning the race is success. So this is what Sankalpa can do to our mind. When we have the right Sankalpa, when we have the right Sankalpa in our mind, victory is ours. We keep succeeding. We go from success to success. So, Sankalpa, in the same way, just like the car, the mind is inert. And when you want to propel the mind, when you want to make the mind travel forward, you have to give the attention of your consciousness through the right sankalpas. So, just like stepping on the gas pedal, I step on the right kind of thoughts, and those thoughts will take me to my destination. And Vikalpa is avoiding all the negative thoughts or negative programs and processes of the mind. Sankalpa, the mind, the nature of the mind itself is Sankalpa Vikalpatmika Manaha, constantly having a Sankalpa and removing all the Vikalpas. This impetus, not because this impetus of giving the right Sankalpa for me is not because I have read from the books and they say that yes, I should have a column of energy within me that is called Shraddha or complete faith. If I want to accomplish something, if I want to get first rank in what I have to study, if I want to if I want to successfully complete the examination, or if I want to successfully complete a race, of course the practice is very essential, but at the same time the right sankalpa is very important. And the energy that is behind the sankalpa is called shraddha, or the faith that I will do it, I will be able to complete it. That is the fuel for the thought. The thought is composed of two things. One is the feeling inside the thought, and the feeling is the center core of the thought, and the outer layer of the thought is called the thought itself. And this thought and feeling are powered by a fuel called Shraddha. And in that fuel, Shraddha is nothing but the storehouse of consciousness. Completely consciousness is focused on my own belief system, and that belief system I offer it into this thought and feeling, and that thought and feeling becomes like a very well propelled and well oiled machine that takes the mind, that takes the whole personality towards a path of success. And this thought and feeling, this shraddha, should come not because of the shastras. Even in our school subjects, sometimes we like to study a subject because of the teacher. The teacher is very nice, the teacher is very interesting, the teacher is very kind to me, so I like mathematics, or so I like Tamil, or so I like English. If that is the case, then my shraddha is based on the teacher. Either if the teacher changes, or a different teacher comes, or the teacher is behaving in a different way than I have seen all these days, my shraddha will immediately go. But if the shraddha is propelled from within me, I love mathematics and I want to do great in mathematics. I love the knowledge that mathematics gives me. I love the knowledge that language gives me. I love the knowledge that Sanskrit gives me. Or I love the knowledge that geography gives me. When I have that love, then the shraddha is self-propelled, and that will never fail me, because even if it is for the subject, if it is just because the subject is easy, then I have shraddha, I get good marks, or the teacher is very good and that is why I have the shraddha and get good marks. It is whether I like it or not, whether the subject is easy or not, whether the teacher is great or not, I put my full attention into that subject, I focus on that subject, I will be able to study well and succeed in what I do. Faith is what is the Shraddha? Faith is a mass of inspired enthusiasm within. The more we see it, the more it grows and it engulfs us. In the Patanjali Yoga Sutra, again, the first three sutras, they say, Tada drashtuhu swarupe avasthanam. Once I am in the state of yoga, yoga means when my mind and when my feelings and thought are one and the same, and consciousness is also part of this feeling and thought, then I am in a state of yoga. When I'm in that state of yoga, the feeling is here, the thought covers it, and I remain as an observer of the thought and feeling. And I can always modify the thought and feeling according to what I need to do in this present moment, or what I need to achieve in this present moment or in my future lifetime. I'm not bound by the thought and feeling. But if I do not pay attention, if I do not remain as a observer of the thought and feeling, then I become the observed. Consciousness will be trapped by this thought and feeling, vritti sarupyam. In the same way, I cultivate faith. I remain the observer of this faith that I cultivate. Then, as long as I remain the observer of this, I constantly feed this faith. Whatever good habits that I feed will grow. Whatever negative traits that I feed constantly will engulf me. So when I feed this good habit of Shraddha, or cultivating the necessary faith, the necessary fuel in me, propel the mind into the right kind of action, then the Shraddha in me will grow. And when the Shraddha in me grows, any thought I have, any right Sankalpa, the Shraddha will work two ways. Just like the petrol in the car can take the driver to the destination, and if the driver is not careful, the petrol in the car can also take the driver to a tree which is on the side of the road. The petrol is not responsible for the driver going to the destination or crashing against a tree. So the Shraddha is not responsible for your success or your failure. But when you cultivate Shraddha, and when you keep growing it, and you have the right Sankalpa or the right intention in your mind, then that Shraddha along with the right intention will take you to the path of success. So how to cultivate Shraddha is just by simply being very good, loving, kind, compassionate, trying to calm your mind, always fall on the path of yoga, fall on the path of what the Shastras tell of how we should live our life. Shastras means they are not inimical to us. They are they are giving us the right tips. In this manner, if I live, I can live my life successfully. I can achieve my goals. So when I follow that, it is just the Shastras are like the road rules. If I follow the road rules, I will reach my destination. The probability of my reaching the destination safely is very, very high. If I don't follow the road rules, the probability of reaching my destination safely on a daily basis is questionable. It depends on how the time is favoring me on that day. So, what is whatever problems we have in life is because of the wrong intentions that we unconsciously entertain. How can we unconsciously entertain wrong intentions? For example, somebody is hurting me, somebody doesn't like me. And the right intention is, despite that person hating me, despite that person abusing me or not speaking properly to me, the right intention will be, okay, let me transcend this. Let me see what I can do to make things better. If things are not getting better, let me withdraw myself and let me focus on something good and something great so that this can work out on itself. Is the right intention. Wrong intention is feeling jealous about that person, feeling angry with that person, trying to fight with that person, and trying to subvert that person's future, or doing so many actions that are going to put blocks in that person's life because I hate him. This is wrong intention. When I take the right intention, I move the smooth highway of success in life. Constantly, moment to moment, my life, the success in my life is decided by the decisions I make. The right decision is called Sankalpa. The wrong decision, which is governed by ignorance of who I am or what is propelling me forward, is the cause for wrong intentions, and that is called a Vikalpa. It is called automatic process. Automatically, the brain, the mind is having Vikalpas only. Automatically on the earth, weeds are growing. But if you want a garden to grow, you have to remove the weeds, you have to clear the ground, then you have to put the seeds, and you have to plant the plants, you have to nurture the plants and nourish the plants, and constantly keep sweeping for the dead leaves and then removing the weeds, only then you can have a garden. Success is like a garden. When things happen around us, when they are conducive to the way we want it, then we call it success. If we want that success, then we have to take the right approach, which is the Sankalpa. If we are not bothered about, if we are able to accept success and failure, then we don't need to put so much of effort. But that is not the case with most of us. Yoga is all about achieving something that you don't have at the right moment, achieving something that you think that you don't have. When you think that you have everything in this world and you are complete, you are a complete human being, then there is no need for yoga. Consciousness alone is there and that is enough. But when you want to achieve something in this world, when you want to work in this world and gain success in this world, then the right direction of achieving that success is shown by the path of yoga. In Hasten Slowly, um, Gurudev says, mind is an inert thing. It cannot exist by itself. Therefore, we can say it is a dead thing, inert. And this world dies and decays because of this dead thing called the mind. What a strange wheel of stupidity. The mind is dead. When you read many books of past life regressions by many authors like Dr. Brian Weiss or Dr. Michael Newton, they're all psychiatrists who have stumbled upon their regression cases in their hypnotherapy sessions, in their psychiatric sessions, therapy sessions, and those people have gone 1,000, 2,000 years before in their many lifetimes, and they are given stories. So when you read all the stories, what you understand is what we call this personality is nothing but a big, big bag of the experiences of so many lifetimes that we have had, where and these experiences are basically not very pleasant ones most of the times. Even when we have pleasant experiences throughout the day, we remember very painfully one negative, unpleasant, and painful experience that we have had in the day. That will stay in our memory and that will never leave us. So, this whole bag of ours that we carry inside, called the ego or the ahankara, which identifies itself with the body, mind, and intellect, is a big, heavy bag containing all our dead experiences of the past. So Gurudev says we are constantly dragging a dead body along with us. And through that dead body called the mind, we are looking at this whole world, and everything is we are experiencing in this world as inert and dead, because we are seeing through the inert lens of the mind. The Sankalpa is all about getting out of this cycle and trying to look through the eyes of consciousness, look through the eyes of life. And when you see whatever you see, when you see with pink glasses, the whole world appears pink. When you see with brown glasses, the whole world appears brown. When you see with red glasses, everything appears red. In the same way, when you see with inert glasses, the whole world appears inert. When you see with glasses of life, the whole world appears lively. When you see with the glasses of wisdom, the whole world appears wise to us. Faith built upon knowledge, reflection, and practice alone can be truly fruitful. Gurudev quotes here from the Yoga Vasishta, Sankalpa matra vibhavena kritatyanartham, Sankalpa matra vibhavena susadhitartham, Santosha matra vibhavena mano vijitya, Nityoditena jayamehi niripsitena. Whatever problems we face in our life is because of the wrong sankalpas, which is called Vikalpa. Sankalp, all tragedies and sorrows, anartha, in life comes by wrong willing. I do not have the right thoughts to guide me, and so I take the wrong decision, and the wrong decision is propelling my mind like stepping on the gas pedal of the car. The mind is propelled into action with the wrong decision, like how the driver, if he is not alert, he will anyway propel the car with placing the leg on the gas pedal, and the steering wheel goes in a different direction, which does not he does not want. In the same way, If I'm not alert, if I'm not aware, I press the gas pedal of the mind with the wrong decision, and then it leads to failure. By right willing, the mind helps the seekers to gain the higher states in heaven, holding the mind in joy, and so in quietude stop all willing. Once I achieve that successful state, and there is only a point to which we can go on aspiring for success. That is why our Shastras show the goal of life as dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Only up to a point we can go on achieving. Dharma means collecting good qualities, always behaving in a good manner, doing good, being good, and doing charitable actions, working on purifying the mind, doing sadhana. All this comes under dharma. Because of that, the mind will become pure. And then you have artha. Artha means focused action, collecting wealth, collecting good thoughts, collecting good emotions, collecting good experiences in my life to rely on. There is artha. The third is spending my energies in enjoying pleasures in the world. This dharma, artha, and kama are like a cycle. I have the life goes in a cycle as long as I am in this loop of dharma, artha, and kama, meaning gathering good qualities, or adharma means not doing anything, and because of that bad qualities develop. There is adharma. We are not talking about that. We are talking about dharma. Even good qualities is keeping us in a in a cycle all the time. We are in a cyclic motion in life, and time is in a cyclic motion, and lifetime is, it begins from birth and ends with death, and life is over. And it is not that it is over, we again are born and then we die. So this is called samsara. The cyclic moment is not what makes us complete. Who really likes to go into an amusement park? You go into a maze. In the amusement park, there are so many rides. You get into the giant wheel, and then you go into a cyclic motion of the giant wheel. You enjoy it for some time, but throughout the day, or throughout the year, or throughout the month, or throughout the year, you cannot be sitting in the giant wheel. It is not going to be enjoyable. Or in the Torah, or in that swinging up and down, whatever it is. The thrill is there only for some time. After that time, it becomes painful and becomes heavy, and it becomes a burden. And everybody want to get out of that giant wheel, or that after some time of enjoying it, we want to get out of it. We do not enjoy it all the time. In the same way, even in these amusement parks, sometimes there are mazes to walk on. You go inside, you go outside, you enter into. If you go a couple of times, then you will know the route and come out of the maze. Once you know the route to come out of the maze, you will not still be going into the maze. You will, when you're walking on the road and the maze is here, you will not enter into the maze and come out every time, because you know that it is only a maze, and it is only a circuitous route to just go forward. So we would always like to move forward in life, and we don't like to get caught in these mazes or in these machines again and again. So dharma, artha, kama will keep us in the machine of life. So our yogic practices will help us in success in life. But in future, the aspiration is always for liberation or moksha, to come out of this cycle of life. Abhimanam parityajya shamashritya shashvatam vicharya prajnaryatvam kuryat sajjana sevanam मिथ्येयम् इन्द्रजालश्रीः किं मे स्नेहविरागयोः इत्यन्तरानुसन्धानात् अहङ्कारो न जायते. How to get out of this circle is to stop that identification of the sense of I. We say I for everything. We say my bottle, or my thing, or my body, or my mind, or my intellect, or my idea, which is all a manifestation of that thing called the ego. It is constantly identifying itself with the body, mind, and intellect. When the ego disidentifies with the body, mind, and intellect, and it identifies with the supreme self, that is a time when we are going to get out of the cycle. As I told earlier, we are the perceiver, and this is what is perceived, or these are the thoughts. Your body, mind, and intellect, everything, all the thoughts of the world. As long as I'm an observer, this jiva or the ego is the observer, and it is just remaining as an observer. It is not going to be affected by this. Moment it just it moment it gets into this thought process, then it is captured by this mind, body, and intellect, and it is turned in that wheel, the cycle of samsara. So to come out of this wheel, I have to constantly remind myself of who I am, and then finally come out and remain an observer and not get caught into what I am observing. So what are the ways for this? I have no occasion to love. So once having renounced all vanity, the purification of the mind, and reflecting upon who I am really. So when I am all auspiciousness, all wealth, all happiness, all beauty, all love, all of existence is I am, I still entertain the thought that I belong to this house, I belong to this road, this street, this family, I belong to this body, I belong to this mind, I belong to this intellect, and I get trapped into a very, very small, minuscule portion of this whole universe. When the whole universe is who I am. So, right kind of attachment. And then the while reflecting upon the noble glory of the self must serve the good, even if the consciousness, the Chinmaya aspect of the yoga is a conscious listening, memorizing, and meditation is on the highest self. Constantly I should also be focusing on the negative qualities that I have been entertaining over so many past lifetimes, and practice the qualities of shama or quietude of mind, where the mind itself is not going out on its own to get what it wants. It is like the car itself deciding to go to Starbucks coffee and get a cup of coffee, or go to some other store and buy something else. No, that if the car decides, then you have no control, because the car goes on its own. In the same way, the mind cannot make its decision to go here and there. It is you, the self, who has to control the mind and take it to where you want to go. I have no occasion to have love, sneha for all these objects, nor need I detach myself from these non existent illusions. Thus, if you maintain a continuous awareness within yourself, the ego will never more rise up in your bosom. When the truth is known, for example, this whole body I recognize as mine. So my head is not falling in love with my hand, or the hand is not falling in love with the head, or this hand is not clasping this hand, falling in love all the time, or this hand is not hating this hand, this eye is not hating the other eye, or the mouth is not hating the legs. Every part of the body is unified, and I know it is one, and there is no love and hatred in this. In the same way, I am that self, and I belong to this whole universe. The whole universe belongs to me. I am a drop in the ocean. The ocean is also there in the drop. When I realize this, then there is no competition, there is no stress, there is no tension in whatever I want to achieve. Even the small things that I want to achieve is possible in this knowledge. Even the great things that I want to achieve is possible with this knowledge. Even if I don't want to do anything, I just want to sit quietly, that is also possible with this knowledge of oneness, and application of that knowledge of oneness in our day-to-day life becomes Chinmaya Yoga. Gurudev says, the ego is but a bundle consisting of dead moments and their past memories in one's life. In fact, we carry a corpse always across our shoulders. Just imagine, even for one more day to preserve a dead body, we have to take so much of efforts. Just imagine carrying a corpse of dead thoughts, dead emotions, and dead feelings all our life without even knowing it. In fact, embracing this decaying filth, we can never enter the holy sanctum of truth. Hence, vanity born of false identifications with body, mind, and intellect must be given up. And your goal is to make your identity with the ego disappear into the vision of the self eternal. The what is love? Love is identity with the beloved. Now the beloved is my body, the beloved is my mind, the beloved is my intellect, the beloved is all my things that are around me, The beloved is all the people around me, my house, my property, my money is all beloved to me. When I withdraw from all these temporary things and I make that supreme self my beloved, then I am able to withdraw easily and attach to that supreme self. And in this process, use no force. Like the flower which is blooming, you cannot really make it bloom by opening up the petals. It will just get crushed and it will be a very ugly bloom. The flower which is gently blooming in nanoseconds, the movement is happening, which can be captured many a time on very high speed cameras, the whole process of the flower blooming. In the same way, let all your good qualities bloom very beautifully. Use no force. Let spirituality open up into fulfillment as a bud opens itself into a flower. Hasten slowly. It's a oxymoron. Hasten means fast, slow means slow. Here Gurudev says, hasten slowly. There is hasten means you can't postpone this action of purifying the mind, integrating the mind, knowing the self, choosing the right path and direction in your life. Is not something, if you have listened to this at 20 years, this is the time to begin. If you listen to it at 30, 40, 50, or 60, this is the time to begin the process of purifying the mind and trying to reach the self. Hasten, but just because you want to achieve it, you cannot make it fast, make it slow. Hasten slowly. Om, Om, Om. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu, Sarvesham shantir bhavatu, Sarvesham purnam bhavatu, Sarvesham mangalam bhavatu, Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, Sarve santu niramayah, Sarve bhadrani pashyantu, Ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhavet, Asato ma sadgamaya, Tamasorma Jyotirgamaya, Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya, Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate, Purnasya Purnamadaya, Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Boliye Shri Sadgurunath Maharaj ki Jai. Hari Om.